stresses and post-traumatic stress disorder, which is what I call this. I've got a couple of horses that I've rehabbed over the years with this kind of situation. There's actually plenty you can do. One is bark flowers. So if you look in all of our formulas, we always add bark flowers into the formulation, and bark flowers have a beautiful calming or normalizing effect on the energetic system. So we have to sort of go into a bit of esoteric stuff here, or metaphysics, in terms of trying to understand what it is that's going awry with the post-traumatic horse. So there is a learned behaviour, there is an adrenal response, there's a cascade of hormones, and then you've also got the way the nervous system is coping with that overload of nervous system chemicals. So that overload of nervous system chemicals in a way damages the way that nerve is actually able to function. So partly we use what we call a class of herbs called Nervins to help repair that nervous system damage, and particularly through the central nervous system, because what you'll get in this kind of animal is these feedback loops which are constantly playing out. So whilst the pressure's off the animal, that's good, but then as soon as you introduce something new, they immediately and habitually go back into that instant response. So partly what we want to do with nervous system herbs is try and slow down that habitual response. Herbs that I like to use, for example, there's a beautiful herb which actually grows wild around Bathurst, and you might even have it in your own paddock. It's called prickly lettuce. It's like a milk. It's got a milky sap in it. And I find when I've got anxious horses, a lot of my horses will actually eat that particular herb. It's really sedative, that type of herb. With that, a herb like prickly lettuce, you would use something like St. John's wort to actually help repair the myelin sheathing, and also mugwort is another one that will help to improve synaptic connection. Once you've got that settling down, there's nothing wrong with using herbs like Valerian, which is antispasmodic. So it stops that, it will help to really relax the muscles. Any animal that's sort of held tight like this, grinding their teeth, for example. I've got a mare at the moment who grinds her teeth. I've only just bought her, and she's a really beautiful mare, but she's obviously got a deep, deep inner stress. And that stress apparently has been there from the get-go. So she's just got this idea that things are stressful. So my aim is to get her chewing softly through the bit, using training techniques, obviously accompanying the herbs, is really, really important. So there are techniques that I like to employ: groundwork, getting the horses, encouraging them to chew the bit, I like the Philippe Carl method is a really good way of doing that. And you do a series of rehabilitation whilst you are using Nervins to actually achieve a new neural pathway. So yeah, horses will get this learned helplessness, so their only response is to do this adrenal response. So everything with these horses has to be done really slowly over a period of time, minimum 3 months. And then once you've got the results you're looking for, everything that you introduce post that, you have to build trust. There's plenty I've been looking online because I'm obviously riding horses as often as I can, and I'm training as often as I can. There are so many amazing horsemen out there now who are really showing us how to connect with our horse in a different way, using beautiful techniques. For example, Wrangler Jane, she's a regular viewer of this particular blog, but things like that will help to connect you to your horse and train the horse to trust you again. And once you've got that trust, the Nervins are part of that repair process. Obviously, it's not an overnight thing, but anyway.